Hey guys, OGalbina here, bringing you guys our pack season 2 draft analysis. I know I'm a little bit late. I believe that pack uploads on Sundays. Draft analysis weren't required, but I still did want to get one up to you guys. I was just busy over the weekend, so I took the extra couple days that I could have. Our week 1 battle will be up on Sunday though, so if you guys are excited for this season of pack, be sure to drop that like button. Hit that like button and drop a sub. We're on our way to 1,000 subs. I'd really appreciate it if you helped us out along that journey. But yeah, this is going to be a really interesting draft analysis. I'm sure you guys saw the thumbnail and all that good stuff. It's definitely going to be really, really interesting, and you'll kind of see why. Okay, so first off, we'll jump into it. We had a pretty bad pick. I think we had like 13th, 14th, 15th, something in the back end of the draft. So again, going in, my philosophy always is grab the thing that's best left on the board or the thing you're most comfortable with and go from there. And for me, that was definitely Latios. I was definitely really, really excited to pick this thing up. I absolutely love Lati. We won a championship with an NTP Season 4, and you'll see this team takes a little bit of inspiration from that team, or at least tried to. But I love it. It's just an absolute monster of a wall breaker. Psychic and Dracos are just being rained down on every team, really. Really hard to switch into it. Even a lot of steel types are just going to take a ton of damage. Plus, we have great coverage for those steals and things like Mystical Fire and Aura Sphere. We get Roost for Reliable Recovery. We can Calm Mind up. We can defog if we need to. Even set screens if we want to. Screens plus like Memento. I've seen more support Lotties do things like that. We can even Thunderwave things. And yeah, it's just a great overall Pokemon. Really easy to build around, and it's really great at just punching absolute holes for things. Oh, and I got Agility, and I believe... Sorry if you guys got that notification. Did it get Stored Power, or is that only Latias? It did get Stored Power, so we can even run like Cheesy Weakness Policy, Agility, Stored Power sets, which is really cool. Or Dragon Dance Physical and go Mix or Physical and things like that. So, great Pokemon, great coverage, terrifying to deal with. Absolutely love Lottie. I think it's great to build around. And speaking of our NCP Season 4 team, round 2, we jump into it, and I see my boy sitting on the board in Excadrill, and if you know me, you know I love Lottie Sand. I love Sand in general, but I think Latios plus Sand is a great combination. Excadrill really complements Latios well, and Latios really complements Excadrill pretty well as well. Drill really just breaking through a lot of things that Lottie does not like at all, including Fairies and Seal types very well, and actually really Psychic types a lot of the time as well. Can't deal with Drill too well, so other bulky Psychics can definitely be some fodder for Drill, and Latios at least covers Excadrill really well defensively. It switches into fat waters. It's immune to ground. It can take on fat grasses as well. So really, really solid core in that pairing. Whereas Drill really breaks things open for Lottie, and Lottie can support it well defensively, at least pivoting into those things. Because while Lottie is offensive, obviously, and more of an offensive Pokemon, it has some very, very passable bulk. And same thing with Drill. Outside of the sand, though, Drill is still great. It gives me Rapid Spin, Stealth Rock, you can set up with Swords Dance. Just a general overall nuisance, and I love the Pokemon. I think it's great. Now, round 3 comes along, and I try a Pokemon I've been wanting to try for the longest time. It is going through the OGalbina test. Is this Pokemon good, or is it dog shit? I don't really think it's that bad. I think it's incredibly overrated, but I am very excited to try it nonetheless, and that is going to be Dracovish. We are going to click the button this season. That's it. I'm going to click the button. It fits well on the sand team. Provided we can get our Sand Setter and things like that, Dracovish under a Sand Rush can be really scary to deal with. We do lose out on that Strong Jaw boost, but say we're Choice Banded, we kind of make up for in that sense, and we have a little bit better speed control than if we're Scarf. But really, the reason you draft this Pokemon is to click this button, and that is it, whether it be Choice Scarf, Band. I'm not a big fan of Dracovish sets that are very gimmicky, and they're like Super Fang, Draco Meteor, trying to beat down the thing that's going to check Dracovish typically, because while you can do that with Dracovish, and you can definitely tailor it to beat a lot of its checks, I feel like that just so drastically reduces the potency and how good Dracovish can be and what it's good at, and being that Vicious Run button clicking revenge killing monster, or even cleaner in an endgame scenario. So personally, I'm not the biggest fan of that. I want to construct a team that beats Dracovish checks and counters, or immensely pressures them to where they can't consistently switch in and deal with me so consistently. So that's gonna be my plan. I might eventually, or at one point run like, some kind of like Super Fang Draco type shit. But for the most part, I'm running Scarf, I'm running Band, and I'm gonna be clicking the button. That's the entire point of Dracovish, and that's what I want to do. So that's gonna be Vish. Next up though was a bit of a roll around. I was talking with Amel, and he was like, "Hey man, you got to pick you up a Sand Setter." And I was like, "Bro, round 4. Why would I need to pick up my Gigalith now? I don't want T-Tar. I don't want Hippo. I'm not a big fan of Hippo on Sand, because I feel like Hippo actually always loses to all of the things that my Sand lose to, unless you drive Zolt. I think Hippo Zolt isn't that bad. I think Hippo Vish and Hippo Drill or Hippofish and Drill, I guess, in this instance, is not very good, because Hippo's a momentum sucker, and it gets into things that Sand doesn't like anyway, so you can't really optimally use your Sand, in my personal opinion. So, not the biggest fan of that, so I really want a Gigalith, but Gigalith, while it's a great Pokemon, great Sand setter, one, nobody else had Sand, like Sand offense, not one other person had it, and two, Gigalith is what, like an 8-point mod, not extremely valuable, especially in a round 4 setting where there's so many big top tier threats on the board, so I want to grab something else, and I want to grab something that really bullied Dark types for my Latios, and something that fit the team well offensively is another great breaker and really just padding out this crazy offense we have so far. So I ended up going Conkeldurr, and I'm really happy about this one. Between Guts, Close Combat, Drain Punches, Mock Punches, things like that, or throwing off Guts Facades and knockoffs and different things like that. This Pokemon's a monster. It really does not have consistent defensive counterplay in the slightest, in all honesty. So I'm really excited to use it. I've used Conk in the past, had great success with it. I don't think I've used it on Wi-Fi yet, though. So I'm really excited to try it out here. I think it's great. Obviously, we can run different sets. We can run like Iron Fist sets and Sheer Force sets with a Life Orb. It's a great AV user as well. Passable Natural Bulk, and not a great speed tier, but a good enough speed tier to where we can punish fat and bulky teams, which I think is great. Yeah, I'm a big fan of Conk. However, ended up biting me in the ass, right? Because round 4 went along, and I shit you not, I picked this at the beginning of round 4, right? Because I'm at the end of round 1, beginning of round 2, end of round 3, beginning of round 4, because I'm like towards the back half of the wheel. After me, all 3 Sand Setters went in round 4. Every single one of them. Not even round 4 and 5. In round 4, all 3 Sand Setters went. The guy who took Hippowdon, it didn't really fit his team, at least in my opinion, but that's not that big of a deal, because I didn't really want Hippowdon, so I'm like, oh, whatever. The guy who took T-Tar definitely fit their team. Or the person who took T-Tar, actually, I don't know if they're boy, you know, whatever. The person who took T-Tar, and the person who took Hippowdon as well, but the person who took T-Tar, it fit their team. It was very good. T-Tar isn't just like you have to draft it with Sand. In fact, most of the time, I feel like you shouldn't, because it's just much better, well utilized outside of Sand. That one fit their team. That was fine. And then the guy at the end of the round, at the top of the draft, pick one Dragapult, took Gigalith. It wasn't absolutely terrible on his team, but it wasn't something he needed in the slightest, and he even told me part of the reason he took it was so that I wouldn't get it. Which is super lame, super whack, but whatever. Now we have this Drillvish Sand team with, like, this Lottie Sand team, I guess, without Sand. And that made drafting from here on out so hard, right? I kind of tried to draft initially from a perspective of I need to drop things and fix this team post-draft, so I'm just going to fill necessary roles and maybe try and build like a somewhat functioning team and fix it after the draft, right? With grace period transactions. But then the draft finished, and there's nothing good left on the board. I could not get anybody to trade me their Sand Setter. I could not. The dude even offered, like, he was like, I'll trade you Drill for Gigalith, and I was like, yo, bet. I'll just get something else, or not Drill for Gigalith, Vish for Gigalith, and I was like, yo, bet. I'll just get something else instead of Vish. But he never responded to me after I said yes. So I don't know if he even really wanted to trade it in the slightest. So, unfortunately, we're going to be drafting this team that I 100% through the first 4 rounds of the draft intended for it to be Sand, and we're going to try and fix it from here and kind of fill roles and still get a somewhat functioning team. Spoilers, we don't make any transactions post-draft, so what we draft is what we have to start the season. I think I did an okay job at fixing the team, making it usable, making it okay. The only issue is it's not a terrifying team. It's not incredibly threatening. There are big holes in the team. I think we can win with it, but it's going to make it really tough. And this will be a good testament to see if our play and our prep can make up for having a pretty bad draft, in all honesty. So next up, though, since we did have our Sand Setters gone, I wanted something that really punished fat grasses, right? Between having Excadrill and Dracovish, I want something that really punished those, and another Pokemon that punished bulky Dark types, bulky Psychic types, things like that. A Pokemon that really, in all honesty, complements our top 4 incredibly well offensively, whether it be with its stabs or its spike support. And Scolipede, and if you know me, you know I love Scully, man. It gives us a great speed tier and something past 110, which I think is really important, especially with speed boost. It's great speed control, great spiker. Its stabs are very solid for the top half of our team. Like I said, there's something that stops the top half or like annoys the top half of our team on every mon that Scolipede stabs can deal with, whether it be dark types for Latios, Grasses for Dracovish and Drill, and then Fairies for Conk, or Psychics for Conk, actually. So this Pokemon really does fit super well with us, and it gives us that Spike stack, which I think is incredibly important for our team. I think Spikes plus Dracovish is going to be really important, especially because we don't have that Sand aspect, and same thing with Drill and things like that. So I think this one's going to be great. It can Endeavor, it can Swords Dance, it can't Baton Pass unless we're not Speed Boosts, I don't think, so we're definitely not going to be doing that. It can T-Spikes, Superpowered Aqua Tail is great coverage, Earthquake as well. So it really is a great Pokemon. I like Scolipede a lot, and I think it functions on this team really, really well. We're obviously going to be speed boost in most weeks. But yeah, that's going to be Scully. Next up, I need a bulky water, I need a bulky fairy, and I wanted to kind of roll compress in those two, and I ended up grabbing Prim right here. I love Prim. If you watch our SBT run, you know that I absolutely love this Pokemon. I think it's absolutely amazing, especially if we can support it well with Wish. I love fat rest talk Prims. I love offensive spec sets. I love AV, especially with the fact that we have Flip Turn for momentum, along with great coverage like our Stabs, Energy Ball, and Ice Beam. Really all we ever will typically need, to be completely honest. That on top of Flip Turn is going to be amazing, and Psychic, I guess, is also nice. We can Calm Mind and Draining Kiss, which is really, really great as well. So overall, just a very demonic Pokemon. I love using Prim. It was actually a kill eater in SBT, which was crazy. Not something I expected, but it was very good at it. It can Toxic and things like that. It can even set up dual screens if we need it to, like a dual screen Flip Turning Prim is definitely not a bad option with Light Clay with all of our setup on our team. So great mon, like it a lot. Next up though, I wanted to grab something again to bully those fat Psychics, but also switch into them well and consistently. I wanted to grab a Ghost Resist because we do not have one of those yet, and they kind of run through us. So I ended up grabbing Big Base Gmolt. Another amazing Pokemon. We only got to use it a few weeks in APA, but I love this thing. I think it's great. Rest Talk sets again are really, really tough to deal with Fire Wrath, Hurricane, and Air Slash. It can U-turn, it can Nasty Plot, it can Agility. This thing with a weakness policy is crazy because look at this thing's bulk, especially on that Svedef side. Good lord, this thing is fat. Absolutely amazing Pokemon though, and hits a lot of boxes for us, which I think is really, really nice. It doesn't necessarily hit a speed 2 that we need because we kind of Drill at 88, but it's not the biggest deal in the world. Maybe we want to go like more Adam and Drill that week or something like that. Who knows? But like I said, it really does complement our team really well. It gives the Ghost Resist, and it gives something to really punish those fat Psychics. Oh, it can also Taunt as well. Oh, give me. You can also Foul Play, which I think is important. Sucker Punch for a priority, and it definitely can't go mix with base 85. So great mon, and I'm sure it'll do work for us. Now, if you look at our team, there's no reliable recovery outside of our Latios, and we have some things on our team that would definitely appreciate some Wish, and while Gmolt is a great Ghost Resist, it's not good to have it be my only one, and I figured there's a Pokemon on my team that could be really great for the squad, and that's going to be big ol' Licky. What can I say? Where's the copy pasta? I should just like throw it on screen. Bam! I probably won't. That Josh made up, but it's kind of become a meme at this point. This Pokemon has actually become my third favorite Pokemon of all time, solely because of how much I use it in draft, but it's great at doing what it does. It passes Fat Wishes, it can't be taunted, it can Dragon Tail things around and Toxic things and Heal Bell, it can Curse or Swords Dance in certain matchups where people don't have Fightings or Ghosts and things like that. So it has win con potential in it. I absolutely love this Pokemon. It has crazy coverage too. We could even pull up with the Choice Band Licky like we did in DBL last season, that one game against Gravy. So who knows? Rest Talk is a great set. It's great anti-weather with Cloud9. And if there's a matchup where we really can't take Sand Chip and we're bringing Sand or something like that, spoilers. Ooh, whoops. Like he can do that as well. Or if we're playing Rain or something like that. So that's gonna be Licky. Next up though, I wanted to grab a good Flying Resist. If you look at my team right now, it's only Drill, and I also wanted to grab more Rock, so I figured a good Rock type would be really important at this point, and I ended up grabbing Regirock. Regirock, again, being a great Flying Resist, being an incredibly reliable rocker. Getting Body Press this gen was really, really nice for it, especially in conjunction with Curse or Iron Defense. It's basically like a second stab with this base 200 defense, especially in conjunction with Rock, as its like main attacking typing or its main typing, really punishing those fat steals and things like that, which I think is really, really great. It can spread around Toxics, like I said, it can Curse up, it can Kaboom, it can be Banded, but it's really going to be that reliable Stealth Rocker on this team in a lot of matchups and be that reliable Flying Resist and things like that. So I just realized it kind of showed the names of the mons at the top. Oops. Next up, I needed to grab a really budget Ground Resist. If you look at my team, I don't have a Ground Resist, as per OGalbina drafting. So we ended up grabbing Blossom right here. Not the worst Ground Resist in the world. Passable bulk, which is very, very nice. It can Quiver and Strength Sap, which I think is really annoying. There's a lot of matchups where Blossom can just be an absolute demon versus a lot of teams between Strength Sap and Quiver Dance and Sleep Powder and Giga Drain. It can what do you call it, Moonblast as well, which I think is important. It can even, you know, Leech Seed things, just be an annoying general nuisance of a grass type. We can use it for pure momentum purposes, I believe, and Baton Pass, which is great. I don't know if they allow Sub Pass, but, you know, maybe that could be an option as well. But again, very solid Pokemon. Can be a sneaky win con in some matchups, and for its price point, it does what we need it to do and be a very, 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 very budget ground resist, which I think is definitely super, super nice. And then lastly, as much as I did not want to draft him, it's going to be Hippopotas. Unfortunately, I did want to at least have the sand aspect, just because, you know, to at least force a little bit of that prep. And there might be a matchup where I can bring, like, you know, what do you call it? Smooth Rock Hippo, I guess. Defensively, it has a little bit of viability when it comes to it with an Eviolite, especially on the Fizdef side. But then I'm not really able to take advantage of my sand turns, and it's even worse than Hippowdon in the sense that Fat Grass just absolutely bully this thing. So I don't think it's going to be incredibly useful, but there wasn't anything else in the point tier that Hippo was in that was necessarily better for my team. And it's at least nice to have that to force prep. Who knows how much we'll bring it? Maybe it'll change. Maybe I'll change my mind on Baby Hippo. He gives me another rocker as well. So we at least have 3 now instead of just Drill, really. That's kind of our only, like, rocker that's going to come every single week. We're going to be forced to bring Regirock a lot, unfortunately, but yeah, that's basically going to be the team. Let me know what you guys think. I think we did the best that we possibly could after losing every single sand setter. I'm hoping we can have success in pack again. We made it to semifinals last season, lost to Mountaih pretty badly, in a pretty hacksy game, but we lost to him pretty badly. And I'm hoping we can come back and win the championship this time, because I want redemption. And I definitely want to show that I didn't need the sand to win this league. So we'll see. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed, drop a like for me, drop us off, and I'll see you guys next time. Later.